Four stories of Chelsea news. Victor Osimhen twist. We've got Chelsea surprised that Carney Chukwuemeka stayed this summer. Everton rejected signing not one but two Chelsea players on deadline day in a swap deal. I haven't even read the articles, and I'm gonna read it and react, and then let you guys read it as well or hear it. And then I want to chat about Chelsea's start to the season. We've seen 5 games on the Enzo Maresca, and it is now the international break. How have we fared? What does it look like? But starting off, oh my goodness, we're gonna get smoother with it. Starting off, we have got Victor Osimhen. He was the big guy, the big transfer everyone wanted. I feel a bit bad for Jadon Sancho in the end. People were sort of disappointed we got Jadon Sancho because we didn't get Victor Osimhen. But famously, now he basically kept turning down Chelsea. Apparently, around 10 contract wage proposals were given to Victor Osman, rejected them all, and potentially they were undervaluing his wages. And he doesn't want to take a pay cut. I respect that, but he's kind of messed it up for himself here. Because Galatasaray are in talks to sign Napoli striker Victor Osimhen on loan, according to reports in Italy. Napoli accepted offers from Chelsea and Al Ahly, and according to Sky Sports Italy, Galatasaray are going to get him on loan for 1 season. So Victor Osimhen's going to play in the Turkish league. He's going to score, or he better score a lot of goals in that league. Now, I know they've got some good players in the Turkish league. Jose Mourinho's just gone there for Fenerbahce, but this is not Victor Osimhen's level, and it's in Europe, so he's not going to Saudi. He'll be there on loan for 1 season, and then he'll move 100% next summer. Will it be Chelsea? Maybe. I thought maybe January. He could wait around till January, and then we could have a look at getting him in January. But it's a shame for him. I think it's not worked out how he would have wanted, and he's now going to play in Turkey for 1 season, and next summer he's going to be like, he's not going to be 20, is he 24, 25 right now? He's going to be a year older. His value will be less. He'll have a year less in his contract if Chelsea want to sign him next summer still. Maybe he scores 40 goals in the Turkish league because he is capable of that, or maybe he's that's the end of his career and he will struggle to score goals at Galatasaray, and he will not have any suitors next summer. We'll have to see. Okay, so next I found an article. Chelsea are stunned that West Ham United target Carney Chukwuemeka has remained at Stamford Bridge, as Enzo Maresca and members of the hierarchy were certain that they would be able to offload him before the transfer window shut last week. Give me sport sources have revealed. Yeah, this is new. We knew that Carney Chukwuemeka had been left out the squad on a few occasions this summer, and he's not played a lot of football, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't blame the managers because he is a bit inexperienced. But we've got to remember, he had huge injury problems last season. It's not because he wasn't being picked, it's because he was injured last season. And I want him to stay because I think he's a great player. He's still very young. But I did think maybe a loan would suit everyone best. And then, but then the rumours about a permanent sale were coming out, and I was like, I wouldn't blame him because he needs to play football at a young age. But according to this, Chelsea are surprised that Chukwuemeka is still among Maresca's options. The Blues were open to sanctioning the midfielder's departure despite him still having 4 years remaining on his £100,000 per week contract. Did not realise he was on £100k a week, which does include a £40 million release clause, but no one were willing to meet the demands. Give Me Sport claimed that West Ham were one of the interested parties locked in discussions over Carney during the final stages of the window, but their advances came to nothing. Statistically, they're comparing Chukwuemeka and Dewsbury Hall. Chukwuemeka is wiping the floor with goals, assists, shots, key passes, tackles, and pass completion percentage in the Premier League. The 20-year-old's prospects of becoming one of the first names on the team sheet he's failed to make a matchday squad since the new season got underway, and his last outing came April the 15th, I guess at the end of the season. West Ham were not the only Premier League rivals tempted to offer Chukwuemeka an escape route, as Man United also explored the possibility at the 11th hour, but he is at serious risk of falling by the wayside over the course of the coming months. He may leave in the January transfer window. Um, it could happen. It's not been ruled out, with Amira's potentially looking to take advantage and making a fresh move if he is forced to contend with limited game time before January. Chelsea paid 20 mil and we want to make a profit on that. Now, I'll give my thoughts here. I don't think that Maresca hates him. I think he's a very clearly good player. He literally scored the winner against Enzo Maresca's Leicester in the FA Cup last season. And it's clear he's a good player. Everyone can tell that. He's great on the ball, can make good passes, he's strong, he's tall. And it's clear he's going to have a good future. This article is kind of making it seem like Maresca hates him and he's falling out the pecking order. There is obviously some reason that he's not in the squad. But we don't know why. Could it be an injury? Because I do remember last season, he kind of disappeared for a bit. We were like, where is he? Well, we kind of forgot about him. And then the Chelsea injury updates were coming out saying he's undergoing a rehabilitation scheme or something. So it made sense. But for some reason, they kind of hid the fact he was injured for a few weeks. Could that be the case now? I don't know. He's not been in a match day squad. He did play in the pre-season, but he didn't have a big impact. He wasn't particularly good. You'd think that he fits perfectly in these attacking number 8 positions, but we do have a lot of them. That's why I thought a loan would work, but apparently not. We'll have to see what happens because he's not going to sit on the bench for the rest of the season. He's 20 years old. He needs football, and I do think he could have a very big future ahead of him. And I just thought it was interesting that Chelsea are actually surprised that he stayed. They were happy to get rid of him. He's on 100k a week. They're probably happy that his wages would be off the books. They're hoping that someone would pay his release clause, but he hasn't really done enough yet for a team to pay £40 million for him. So another exclusive, Everton rejected swap deal involving £210,000 a week trio. Everton had turned down the opportunity to recruit Chelsea outcast Axel Disasi and David Datro Fofana in a high-profile swap deal, which would have seen Dominic CalvertLewin bring the curtain down on his Goodison Park career. So, according to Give Me Sport, again, okay, straight off the bat, there were links with Dominic CalvertLewin to Chelsea. I didn't see anything to Sassy or Datro Fofana to Everton, but yeah, I can see them happening. I didn't want CalvertLewin at Chelsea. I don't think he's quality enough to play at Chelsea. But maybe if they were desperate for a striker, wanted someone that could rotate with Jackson, maybe it makes sense and then get a bigger striker next season or a year after. But we'll carry on reading. CalvertLewin was firmly on Chelsea's radar during the final stage of the summer transfer window, but Everton did not entertain agreeing terms as their domestic counterparts were pushing to include Disasi and Fofana as part of the deal, which would have seen the frontman heading to Stamford Bridge. The England international has entered the final months on his 100k per week contract. Maybe statistically they've put in loads of names or put in loads of numbers. They want a striker that's not going to be hugely expensive on decent wages. Premier League proven, maybe can score goals, and he's sort of like underdeveloped, and Enzo Maresca can give him a chance, and maybe Dominic CalvertLewin came out on that, and because it does seem like a weird transfer. If CalvertLewin joined Chelsea, people would be like, what Cole Palmer wanting, but like, what are they doing? He's 27. He did score in their last game against Bournemouth. Chelsea, apparently Give Me Sport recently reported that Chelsea were unwilling to pay more than £12.5 million for CalvertLewin if a cash deal would only be considered, with them using Chiesa's move as a yardstick for his valuation because there's 1 year in his contract. Maybe get him for free next summer, a bit like Tosin, like a no-brainer free transfer. Maybe in 2 years you can sell them for profit. I can see that happening maybe. The Blues, however, wanted the duo of Axel Disasi and David Datro Fofana to head to Goodison Park. The pair have been frozen out since Maresca's appointment. Datro Fofana has. He's not played a minute under Enzo Maresca, but Disasi, he's been injured apparently. So, Give Me Sport sources have been told that Chelsea were particularly hopeful of tempting Everton into sanctioning a deal to see Disasi and Fofana embark on a fresh challenge to Goodison Park. But hang on, wait. If we were not willing to pay £12.5 million, but surely Datro Fofana himself is worth more than that. Surely Datro Fofana they value about £20 million, and Disasi we signed him for like £35 million. He's probably worth about 25 at the moment. So it's not really a swap deal if you say we'll take CalvertLewin, you take Disasi and Fofana, and then you also give us like £30 million because that's fair. I can see why it didn't work. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Chelsea, that Fofana doesn't have a future at Chelsea, very clearly, from this and the fact he hasn't played it all this season. Fofana could go to a different league while the transfer window is still open for other teams and leagues outside of Europe. I think Turkey, Saudi Arabia is still open as of today. But Disasi, I don't think we need to get rid of him like now, but I don't think he has a very high ceiling. And next summer, it's like a bit of Koulibaly, like just doesn't make sense why we signed him. Just doesn't like come in and go out again. Just pointless. We'll have to see with that one. Disasi, the Monaco boys, Badiashile and Disasi do not fill me with confidence when they have the ball at their feet under Maresca. You need to be good with the ball at your feet, passing out of trouble. They do not have that, and I don't know if you can coach that into them, because Colwell and Fofana are clearly better at this point. So the last story I was going to speak about, I'll just very quickly mention. Jadon Sancho obviously joined Chelsea and was unveiled at Stamford Bridge. We have Mudryk, Neto, Felix, and Nkunku, Palmer, Madueke, to name a few in attack. And we played 5 games. We scored a lot of goals. Scored 6 against Wolves. Scored 2 against Servette. 1 against Servette in the other game. And then 1 against Palace. 0 against City. And I think the attack's good. I think our attack is completely sorted. We will not make another attacking signing other than a big striker, hopefully. And not in size. A big profile striker. Osimhen looked like he'd be it. But you never know. Maybe next summer, Gyökeres might have a clause in his contract where means you can get him for cheap, or somebody else like Openda from Leipzig. He's been doing well. There were small links with him, or Jonathan David. Maybe an opportunity like that arises, and because no one would have predicted Joao Felix or Pedro Neto really to Chelsea, or Jadon Sancho either at the start of the window, let alone a year before. So this time next year, at the end of next year's summer transfer window, there could be something crazy going on, and the big striker could join. I think the midfield sorted. Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, and then you've got lots of Dewsbury Hall. I don't think we need another midfielder. Goalkeeper potentially. Centre-backs are good, but I think centre-back depth could be improved. And then the full-backs, just a bit inconsistent at the moment. Reece James, obviously, incredible in his day, but injured so often. Malagusto, bit inconsistent at the moment, but he's trying out a new role. Cucurella, great for Spain, never really as good for Chelsea, but he's improved since he started at Chelsea. And then Renato Vega looks like a good coup, but nothing particularly out of the ordinary. Yeah, but I wanted to know your thoughts, so please do comment. What do you think Chelsea could improve on in January? Maybe we didn't make a January transfer signing last season, but we could this season if something if like pushing for the Premier League or Conference League. It could be injuries, anything. What do you think Chelsea need to prioritise, and what could be, I don't like saying it, the missing piece of the puzzle, because Romelu Lukaku was meant to be the missing piece of the puzzle, and we all know how that worked out. But thank you for watching. Do subscribe and comment your thoughts on the stories, and as well what you think Chelsea could improve on in the future. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.